Can my employer deduct money from my paycheck without permission? Imagine this. You open your paycheck and it's smaller than expected. Maybe your boss says they deducted money for a broken register, a cash shortage, or a damaged uniform. You didn't sign anything and you're wondering, can my employer legally take money out of my paycheck without my permission? This question comes up often in retail, food service, hospitality, and construction. Workers are shocked when wages are cut for mistakes, shortages, or equipment costs. But the law is clear. While some deductions are allowed, many others are not. And employers who cross the line can face penalties. In this video, we'll break it down step by step. We'll explain what the Fair Labor Standards Act says. Which deductions are always legal, which are illegal without consent, how state laws add extra protections, and what workers can do if money disappears from their paycheck. Federal law. The FLSA Basics. The Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, sets federal rules for minimum wage and overtime. It allows some deductions, but with a major restriction. An employer cannot make deductions that drop your pay below minimum wage or cut into your overtime pay. That means mandatory deductions like taxes, Social Security, and Medicare are always allowed. Voluntary deductions like health insurance premiums or retirement contributions are fine if you authorize them. Deductions for things like cash shortages, uniforms, or damaged property are only allowed if, after the deduction, you still earn at least minimum wage and your overtime pay isn't reduced. Example, you make $7.50 in Massa's hour in a state where the minimum wage is $7.25. Your boss deducts $50 for a broken scanner. If that deduction pushes your pay below $7.25 an hour, it violates the FLSA Common Employer Deductions, legal versus illegal. Here's a breakdown of deductions you may see. Always legal, without your consent. Federal and state taxes. Social Security and Medicare contributions. Court-ordered garnishments, like child support. Legal only with employee consent. Health insurance premiums. Union dues, unless required under a union contract. Retirement plan contributions, often illegal or restricted. Deducting for cash register shortages. Deducting for broken equipment or damage. Charging employees for customer walkouts, dine and dash. Requiring employees to buy uniforms if the cost reduces wages below minimum wage. Example, a restaurant server is required to pay for a customer who left without paying. That deduction may violate wage laws, especially if it drops the worker's pay below minimum wage. State laws, stronger protections. While the FLSA sets a federal baseline, many states go further. California. Employers cannot deduct for breakages, cash shortages, or business losses unless caused by willful misconduct. Uniform costs must be reimbursed. New York. Allows certain deductions, but only if authorized in writing, such as for insurance, union dues, or pension plans. Unauthorized deductions are illegal. Texas. Requires written authorization for most deductions beyond taxes and garnishments. Illinois and Massachusetts. Treat unauthorized deductions as wage theft, with triple damages possible in court. Example. In California, a retail worker dropped merchandise. The employer deducted $100 from the paycheck. That's illegal. The employer must absorb ordinary business losses. Uniforms, tools, and equipment costs. A common issue is employers shifting business expenses to employees. Uniforms. If a uniform is required and distinctive, like branded shirts or safety gear, many states require employers to provide it at no cost. Tools. Employers generally cannot deduct the cost of tools or equipment if it reduces wages below minimum wage. Cleaning costs. Forcing employees to launder uniforms at their own expense may also be illegal if it cuts into minimum wage. Example: a fast food worker earns $8 an hour. The employer deducts $50 for a uniform. If the deduction reduces weekly earnings below $7.25 an hour, it violates the FLSA court orders and garnishments. Some deductions aren't up to the employer, they're legally required. Child support orders must be deducted and sent to the state. Wage garnishments for debts or taxes are allowed, but limited by federal law to protect part of the worker's earnings. Employers must follow court orders exactly. They cannot take extra processing fees unless permitted by law. Misclassification and hidden deductions. Some employers misclassify workers as independent contractors to shift costs. Contractors may be told to buy their own uniforms, pay for gas, or cover equipment. While true contractors bear their own costs, many workers are misclassified and should be employees under the FLSA. Example: a delivery driver labeled a contractor is required to buy branded uniforms and pay vehicle costs. If the company controls schedules and pay, the driver may actually be an employee and entitled to reimbursement. Real-world cases. Case 1. In California, a retail chain illegally deducted for broken merchandise. Courts ordered repayment plus penalties. Case 2. A restaurant in New York deducted tips to cover credit card fees. The state ruled this violated wage laws. Case 3. In Texas, a construction company deducted for lost tools without consent. Workers recovered full wages after filing with the state labor board. Case 4. A hotel required housekeepers to buy uniforms. In Massachusetts, this was ruled wage theft because it pushed wages below minimum wage. These cases show that business costs cannot be shifted to employees through paycheck deductions. What workers can do if money is missing from your paycheck. 1. Check your pay stub. Employers must itemize deductions in most states. 2. Ask for an explanation. Sometimes deductions are mistakes. 3. Review state law. Some states ban certain deductions entirely. 4. Document everything. Keep copies of pay stubs and communications. 5. File a complaint. Contact your state labor department or the U.S. Department of Labor Wage and Hour Division. 6. Consider legal action. Wage theft lawsuits often allow recovery of back wages, penalties, and attorney's fees. Example: a cashier notices $25 missing each paycheck for register shortages. After filing a complaint, the state orders full repayment plus interest. The bigger picture paycheck deductions highlight the balance between legitimate business needs and workers' rights. Employers can cover taxes and authorized benefits, but they cannot shift ordinary business losses onto workers. Without strong rules, employees would bear the cost of theft, breakage, or mistakes that are part of doing business. The FLSA and state laws aim to protect wages as the worker's property. Once earned, your paycheck belongs to you. Employers must follow strict rules before taking even a penny back. So, can your employer deduct money from your paycheck without permission? In most cases, no. Federal law under the FLSA allows deductions for taxes and court orders, but business costs like broken equipment or shortages cannot reduce your pay below minimum wage. Many states, like California and New York, go further, banning most deductions unless you give written consent. The bottom line: your paycheck is your property. Employers can't legally take money for mistakes, uniforms, or losses unless specific rules are met. If they do, it may count as wage theft. If this video helped clarify your rights, share it with co-workers. The more workers know about paycheck protections, the harder it is for employers to take advantage.